In computer programming, variables are a fundamental concept related to how you store as well as process data. Let's take a look at what this means. Please run every code cell in this lesson in the same order as I do from top to bottom. This is important. If you don't run every code cell in the same order, you might have unexpected errors pop up. Let me start by illustrating this with a code snippet. I'm going to say age equals 28. And what this does is it creates a variable and stores the value 28 to it. So now if I say print age, guess what this will do? This prints out the number 28. Let's look in detail at what just happened here. With the line of code age equals 28, what you're telling Python to do is to create a space, which you can think of as an empty box, to store the number 28. And so whenever I use this variable age, Python knows I mean 28. Now, I can decide to change what age stores. If I were to have a line of code that says age equals 5, this is my daughter's age, then what this is saying is, forget the old value that we stored in the box 28, let's get rid of that and store the value 5 inside this box instead. So now age is equal to 5. So to illustrate that in code, at this moment, age is equal to 28, but if we were to now say age equals 5, and then print age, age has now been replaced with the number 5. Variables can be used to store strings or numbers. In the example we saw, we assigned the value 28 to age, or you can have a variable called name and assign to it the string auto. Or if you have a garden gnome, you can create a variable called gnome height and save the number 12.7. Let's take a look at how this works in code. So I'm going to say name equals auto, gnome height equals 12.7. And if I were to use an F string to print the variable age, this will print age 5. And similarly, now that I've set name to auto and gnome height to 12.7, I can print name auto gnome height 12.7. When you're defining variables, it's important to use the exact same name. So if I were to change this to gnome height, this won't work. This will generate an error message. So you have to use the exact same name for it to be correct, and switching from lowercase to uppercase confuses Python. So variables can be used to give a value, like someone's age, a name to use later in one or more places. Another common use of a variable is to use the same name to refer to a value that changes. So for example, if you are playing the game of Tetris, your score may start off with 0, but after you play for a while, your score increases to 50, and then 150, and then 450. And after the game ends, you save the high score to memorialize your accomplishment playing Tetris. In this example, your score may start off as 0, but then after you earn another 50 points in the game, we can set score equals score plus 50. So what this means is, take the old value of score, add 50 to it, and use the assignment operator. Dear computer, please take the old value of score and replace it with the new value of score, which is score plus 50. And now if you earn another 100 points, you're going to take the old value of score, which is 50, add 100 to it, store that in the box labeled score. And so now your score is 150. If you earn another 300 points in the game, now the score is 450, and if you say your final score is score, this would print 450. Now, some things about variable names. If you were to try my score equals 450, this generates an error message because names of variables cannot contain spaces in them. If you want a space, use instead an underscore like that, and that will work. If I hadn't told you this, you can also find out from the chatbot why doesn't this code work. And this will then tell you, see, you can put an underscore or just eliminate the space. Let's look at a fun dog age example. Let's say our friend Otto is 49 years old, And so if you want to compute his dog age, you would print 49 divided by 7, which is 7. If you want to print out all those dog age, you could do so like this. All those age in dog years is 7.0. I can define a variable, dog age equals 49 divided by 7. And now dog age is going to be equal to 7. And where this comes in handy is if I want to write a paragraph of text that refers to all those dog age multiple times. Before we had variables, you could write this. And it's just a little bit annoying to have to write 49 divided by 7 multiple times. And if Aldo ever becomes a year older, then we need to go to the code and change this to 50 in multiple times. There's actually a better way to do this, which is you could use this code to print out the same result, having computed dog age just once. And if ever Aldo ages by a year, you can actually set dog age equals 50 over 7. And then if I rerun this code, it now updates it in all of the different places. So by defining a variable once, you could use it in multiple places. And this is why variables help make computer programs much more efficient. You can also even change out the name Aldo. If you decide you want to refer to Aldo by his last name as well, like Automatic, then you can rerun this code and you have his full name printed out in all 3 places. Automatic. Hope you got that joke. Just to walk through in detail how f strings and variables work together, this is the example we had just now, where the dog age was 7. And so when Python finds dog age in curly braces, this causes it to check for a box with the name dog age, whereupon it finds the number 3.0, replaces that part of the f string with 3.0. And similarly for the other 2 places, which is why it then prints out the string that you saw in the code. This f string pattern that you see here, where you have some text and you insert the value of a variable to customize the string, it turns out this pattern is one that's very useful for customizing the prompt that you can then pass on to an AI language model using a Python program. So please take some time to practice using f strings and variables together by trying out the exercises below. Talk to the chatbot to help you resolve any problems you might encounter. And when you're ready, join me in the next video to take a closer look at using f strings to build prompts for large language models.